Hi, I'm Lexi with HyprChats here at Pocket Gamers Connect London 2025. Joining me today is Ville Rauma from Fingersoft. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm glad to have you here. I know that you've been with the company Fingersoft for around 11 years now.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking us through your journey with the company and in the gaming industry in general?
Yeah, for sure. Like I started in games already like 20 years ago. So I was in the University of Oulu in Finland and doing software degree. And from there, I actually ended up in some gaming startups and then went into software development for a while. And then in there, I realized that I really want to work in games instead of software. And then I was looking for opportunities. And I actually saw a news article about 100 million downloads for hill climb racing. And that was from my area. So I was like, who are these guys? I didn't know them, but it was very easy to find because Oulu is not that big of a city. So I found somebody who knew somebody, and then I got an interview, and I got accepted. I took a back-end developer role. So that's what I did for a few years, and then I got promoted to COO. Actually, I think that was employee number 12.
Wow. And then rose straight up to COO. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I guess let's talk about 2024. What are some of the key takeaways that you saw, some highs and lows from the year?
Yeah, so for us, the year was actually the most difficult in the company history. So it was like an outlier. We saw a significant drop in ad revenue, not because like losing players, but because of the changes in the regulation in regards to consents and stuff like that, which kind of led to decrease in ad revenue. And we actually had to lay some people off, which was like a very, very difficult thing to do and like not something I would like to repeat. But then like we survived that and actually towards the end of the year, we saw quite a good result in Hill Climb Racing 2. So we were able to increase IAP sales quite a bit. And I think the numbers are not in yet, but it looks like we're not going to be at loss for the year. So we kind of saved it in the last minute. But yeah, difficult year, but a lot of progress as well in all of our kind of products. So, yeah.
Good to hear that you have some progress and some more. September 2025. I know as a COO, I'm sure you wear a lot of hats and have a lot of different responsibilities at your company. What might a typical day look like for someone in your role?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's always different, but I think depending, like if we think about the normal week, we start usually on Monday, we have a leadership team meeting where we look at what's going on. And on Tuesdays, we have a company weekly where we basically like have all hands. And it's a kind of quick checkup, like what's going on in different teams around the company. We have 100 people right now, so there's quite a bit of things going on. And then I usually like work with a lot of our directors who are like, let's say, creative director or other directors to figure out like what the key things are, like if there's issues in some like making some decisions in some project or some like we need to make some changes in teams or like all kinds of things. So it's a lot of like working with the different leaders in the company and helping them figure out like how to help the teams make the best games possible. So it's kind of that kind of thing.
So for Fingersoft, I know the hill climb racing like IP has had such great success over the years. How do you kind of keep up that momentum, especially when you're looking for new game ideas?
Yeah, great question. It's actually kind of like a continuous challenge for us. So it kind of upkeeping the creative mindset. It's always difficult, and especially over like talking about games for over 10 years old. So it's a lot of it is kind of setting like a good goals and a good mindset for the coming year. For example, now we have a new growth strategy, so we actually have quite a lot of things we want to do and helping the teams that way, but then also working with them kind of on a regular basis. We have like, let's say like designers, we have these crafts, what we call like a design craft. So basically you have all the company game designers sitting down and talking like every other week or so, thinking about new ideas, how to approach things. And we do a lot of like collaborations with other game companies, talking with people around the industry and figuring out like what inspires us. And then of course, listening to the players a lot. So we have a huge Discord and we have a lot of ways we can kind of also listen to the players. Of course, there's a big volume of them, so it's a challenge in itself. But like I think these elements, listening to the players and being open and creative about it, thinking about what cool things we could bring. So yeah.
I guess shifting a little to advertising, how does Fingersoft approach brand advertising in this game?
Yeah, so we basically like have been doing several years now like internal brand development for Hipline Racing. So it's maybe not obvious, like it might look just like a side-scrolling racing game, but early on we already like decided that we want to build the world of Hipline Racing. We actually call it the Climb Canyon. It's kind of the world which is there, and we have a brand team who is constantly working on cool things like character stories, the rules of the world, things like that, which is kind of also like to the previous question, helping us figure out what cool things to do. So those are kind of things. But in terms of like marketing, we kind of tend to be more on the performance side. We don't do a lot of brand marketing so far. But we kind of inject the brand stuff into our marketing. So basically, if you're looking at some creatives that we are running on different like, let's say like rewarded videos, something like that, you might be actually able to see hints of the brand in there if you look carefully. But we're kind of like slowly kind of bringing more and more of that stuff in there. So yeah.
Very cool. What are some trends that you're most excited about in the industry right now?
Yeah, I think we're in an interesting phase looking at like the past 10 years where like I think things are changing in a big way. There's many things like the competition seems to be opening up on the platform side. Like the incumbents are kind of like, of course, keeping their place in line, but it looks like there's new opportunities opening up. We're looking into doing stuff on websites. So HTML5 version of Hipline Racing is hopefully launching this year. It's like an early test to see if there's traction. And yeah, so there's many things happening, but kind of like I think trying to get ownership and connection with the player ourselves directly, I think that's one of the key things for us.
Nice. My last question for you, what are some things we can expect to see from Fingersoft in 2025?
Well, we have ambitious plans for Hipline Racing, Hipline Racing 2, so there's lots of cool things in the pipeline for players of those games. But then the kind of our most exciting new thing is Hipline Racing 3, which is going to be real-time 3D multiplayer, a little bit more competitive. And that's actually looking like we might be able to go towards soft launch this year and start kind of actually showing it to people. And that's the kind of what I'm waiting for most. For myself.
Very cool. Excited to hear about or to see Hill Climb Racing 3 when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I have for you today. So thank you so much for sitting down with us.
All right. Thank you. Nice talking to you.